to pick my TBR without knowing what I'm picking. I think we have one about. But we're gonna try it again. Okay, let me explain how this works. I basically have this jar here, which I picked a bunch of prompts and I picked a bunch of books. And I put them on little pieces of paper, crumpled them up, and we get to pick at random. Basically a game that's made for me to pick my TBR without knowing what I'm picking. Let's get this started. Let's go ahead and pick our first one. Is that 2 or 1? I think we have 1. Okay, the first one is Revisit a DNF. Let's pick our second one. See what it is. Young adult book. I normally read books that kind of read more young adultish, so this shouldn't be hard. Okay, third one. It is part of a series. Oh, this one's great. I know what I'm picking. I already know. Let's do our fourth pick. This one's already open, I think. It's not talked about. I think I'm gonna pick 6, so let's go for our 5th pick. I feel like this one's open too. Okay, it is start a series. Last pick, number 6. Please be good, please be good. Renegades. Okay, this is a book. I'm really not mad about any of the things that I picked. Let's go talk about them. We only got 1 actual book picked for us, so let's talk about it. This is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. Now, you've probably seen this book all across Book Talk. This follows superheroes, I believe it is, which is so incredibly cool. I've never read a book about that, so I'm really excited. Okay, take back what I said. I think this follows villains instead of superheroes. It is a long book, so a little bit intimidating if I'm not gonna lie. The book seems pretty cool, but let's go figure out our prompts. Okay, our first prompt is Revisit a DNF. Now, this one, honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about because I have so many books that I've been DNFing. I've been kind of in a book slump, so a lot of the books I've been DNFing are kind of a result of that mainly. But hopefully the book that I choose to revisit is actually good because I feel like a lot of things I DNF is for a good reason. Let me tell you all the books I DNF'd real quick and let's pick one. Okay guys, behind me is a lot of the books that I've DNF'd. Honestly, I think a lot of them were just like hardcover books for some reason. I don't know. Literally don't ask me why. Let's go through the books I DNF'd off of this shelf and then we'll move to the next one. I've DNF'd Not a Happy Family, Someone Else's Shoes, and honestly I think that's it over here, so let's move along. Over here I DNF The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, 2 Steps Forward, One of Us is Lying, Loath to Love You, Last Chance Books, Icebreaker, which we all know how I feel about that book, okay? Please, goodbye. And honestly, I think that's all my DNFs of over here on this shelf. So let's go ahead and pick one, which I'm pretty sure you guys know which one I'm gonna pick. I want to reread The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Honestly, I DNF'd this probably 2 years ago now, and I never picked it back up. I DNF'd this book at a time where I was very, very into rom-coms, so this was the first little branch out into a different genre. And also, Book Lovers by Emily Henry had just came out, so I wanted to read that instead of this. I never really came back to this book or gave it a fair chance. I kind of just moved on to different genres in my own way instead of picking this original one back up, but we're gonna try it again. As you can see, I've had this book for so long. It has so many scuffs and stuff all over it. I was just not an avid reader when I got this book, so hopefully it's good. For some reason, I've still been able to navigate my way out of finding out what the ending is. I always see people say, oh, the ending is crazy, and then they're about to say a spoiler, and I just scroll right past it, or I click off the video. So somehow I've avoided spoilers for this book after how many years? Probably read it with you in some vlog somewhere this month, so this is the first book from the prompts that I'm picking. The next prompt I have is a young adult book, which I already know what I'm picking, so we're not even going to go through the books. I'm just going to show it to you right here, right now. I think that honestly this is the only YA book that I actually own and haven't read yet. So this is The Selection by Kiera Cass. So many people love this series, and so many people have said they read this when they were in like middle school, and I'm like, I wish I could have those vibes with you. So when I read this book, I'm going to transfer myself back to my middle school self. I might even give myself a side braid. Actually, on second thought, we are not going back to the side braid era. That was me. So people say you just have to really lean into the young adult vibes of this book, and I think it's something to do with a pageant. So yeah, it says 35 girls, 1 crown, the competition of a lifetime. I'm excited for this. We're gonna try it out. Let's go to our next prompt. The next prompt is start a series, which honestly, I only have 1 guess of what I'm gonna do. I don't have very many series that I haven't started yet that I want to start, so there's only 2 options, but let's go over them real quick. You guys are gonna have to come back over here once again, as per usual. These are the 2 series that I really do want to start. It is the Clockwork Angel, The Infernal Devices series, or The Serpent in the Wings of the Night series, which I think this only has 2 books. I think this is a duology. This one is a trilogy, I believe. So I have all the books for this one, but this is one that I don't have all the books for. Honestly, I hate to say it, I think that I'm going to go with this one, The Serpent and the Wings of the Night. I just think that the Infernal Devices series is just very scary when you first start it. Like, not in the way of like the book is scary. Like, I'm not like, ah! I just feel like the Infernal Devices series is a lot when you're first going into it. Like, all of the books are very long, all the books are very serious, and like you need to pay attention to details. Hopefully this is good, but this is the series that I'm picking. How am I supposed to leave it now that you're already over? Change my mind, but it's still on you. The next prompt is a book that is not talked about. As we all know, Book Talk and BookTube and just the book world in general, all of these influencers who talk about books just really are influential in like major ways to me personally. Whenever I'm watching a book video and someone's talking about how good a book is, I'm like, okay, that's the next book I'm reading. So the point of this prompt is to pick a book that I haven't heard anyone talk about before. So I have a few of those on my shelf. I bought a few from like book sales at the library that I haven't heard people talk about. So let's go figure out what we're gonna pick for this one. This is a little tough one. Okay, so first we have Kind Worth Saving by Peter Swanson. I honestly think this is the one I'm gonna pick if I'm being completely honest with you. It says a private eye starts to follow a possibly adulterous husband, but little does he know that the twisted trail lead back to the woman who hired him. I'll let you know what I think of it by the end of this month, but this is the one that I'm picking. Okay, the last prompt is part of a series. We already know what I'm gonna pick for this one. Honestly, let me just show it to you. We don't even need to go over to my bookshelf. Obviously, it's A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I read these two books, which are the ACOTAR series, and I really enjoyed these books actually. I feel like I honestly, unpopular opinion, like the first one better. We're not gonna get too into it, but the only reason that I feel that way is because the second one I felt like dragged a little bit in the middle. But this one is yet another long book in the series, so hopefully this one doesn't drag. Hopefully this one's good. I've just been so excited to jump back into a series because when you don't have to go through the pain that is world building and trying to figure out and feeling dumb because you don't understand this world that they're building for you. That's the best feeling in the world. So hopefully soon I'll have all 3 books on my shelf and I can say that I've read all 3, even though there's like 5 books in the series. But Court of Wings and Ruin is the book that I'm picking for part of a series. How am I supposed to leave you now that you're already over? So these are all of the books that I have chosen for my TBR of this month. I'm actually really excited. I feel like I did so good this month. Honestly, all of these books were really high up on my TBR in general of books that I want to read this year. So I'm so excited for this. Let me know if you have read any of these, if you want to read any of these. Just let me know your thoughts on this video and these books in general. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys super soon. Love you. Goodbye.